The grand final of the Trackmania Grand League has just finished. It was the first ever beta season, and I'm here with the man behind everything. It's softyB. Softy, the grand final just finished. What feelings are you left with as an organizer and man in charge of this?
Well, great event for the beta season. Some things could have been better, like the sound and things like that, but overall, I think I'm pretty happy with not this event in particular, but the whole season, because we started this in January. We are now on November, so it's quite a long time. But it's a great way to end that beta season. I think now we're ready, and let's move on.
Yeah, it's been in fact a really long beta season, and is that just because you want to be secure for the season 1 that you have everything ready, that you have tested a lot, or why was it so long?
It was mainly that long because of PGW. We wanted to have the event there, so we had to wait obviously that date. Obviously the season was too long, so that's gonna change for the next season. But yeah, it was mainly because of Paris Games Week.
Let's talk about this Paris Games Week, the event here or the match here. You also organized in last year at the Trackmania World Championship. How would you compare these two events? Which one is the better organized in your eyes?
Last year we had a lot of problems. I wasn't happy about. Obviously the PCs, like we had 10 PCs and only 2 were working on things like that. Here everything went smooth. Some issue on the stage about the sound, but in terms of organizing, it was better today. Obviously it's not the same thing. We have 1 match. Last year it was like a whole bracket, so not the same amount of work to do. But overall, I would say both events were great in terms of organization, I hope, for the players. We had some issue with the PCs, but it wasn't clearly our fault. But great organized, yeah, great. Well, both events were great, basically.
A topic or a word that is brought up a lot during this season is viewer-friendly, but why was there only 1 match here? Because it's clear that the crowd likes to see live matches, and I would sure that more players would show, or more spectators would show up if there was more matches here. Why did we end up with only 1 match?
Again, not our decision, but I do feel that people get more hyped over time on Trackmania. So if you put 3 matches, you will have the viewers again like going up. So I'm kind of sad as well to have only 1 match today. I wanted to have more matches, maybe the whole bracket today. Sadly, we couldn't. But the main thing that was good today was that I could hear some people saying that, oh, I didn't know that game, or what is that game? It's cool to watch. We didn't have only people that know the game on the stage, so on the public. So I'm happy about that. That we could like give a good show and a small idea of what is Trackmania in terms of esport. But obviously, a lot of people use the word viewer-friendly because I used it when I say that Grand League is more viewer-friendly than tech. I still believe it. Obviously, if you compare the final today as the final last year, I am the first one to say that last year was insane on every point. But I do think if we want to open things up for a new public, Trackmania Grand League is better on many points. The maps were like, some people did talk about the maps in the public and said, wow, that jump is insane, things like that. And I think even the players want a small change when it comes to the map, so it's viewer friendly, but also I think better for the players.
You were standing in the public and you said that there was a lot of hype. Would you say that was somewhat the same as last year? Because then it was really hyped.
Last year was different. I think that in terms of reaction in the public, it's the same. We didn't have that much of reaction last year. Only the match was insane, and the casters were really great and hyping up the things. In terms of public and reactions, I would say it's basically the same between last year and this year, even though last year was insane in terms of performances.
Are you surprised that we have now Kappa defending his title? Last year he won the World Championship in tech, now he's winning it in mixed style. Are you surprised that he is the guy to actually win 2 different styles here?
Nope. As I said to him, he prepared. He gives a lot of effort to come and be ready on any matches. He stepped up a lot, and he has the ability to evolve and change his game style on tech, but on mixed maps. So not surprised at all. We all thought that Kappa was the main favorite, and he showed that he was. So no, I don't like. The really good players are able to play on any kind of maps, and players like Kappa, Karl, Papou, and all the TMGL players showed that. So a good tech player can be a really good TMGL or mixed player as well.
Let's talk. You are obviously the Trackmania Grand League admin and has a lot of things to do with that, but you're also in charge of Gamers Origins Trackmania squad. You had a player here, Papou, finishing second. What can you say about his performance?
Disappointed. That's the word I would say. He played good overall. Obviously, he could have done way better, and he knows that. We wanted to be like we were prepared to play Eurosky, and it didn't go our way. So we had a lot of trouble on this map. That's the main problem we had today. But I mean, Kappa played great. Papou played overall. Like he played at a good level. Last year he was nowhere to be seen compared to this year. So he's probably one of the players that stepped up clearly this year. And he's only starting. And I believe that next year he'll be able to win the next TMGL, the ZRT. He has a lot of progression yet to do. And he will work on that next year. But step by step, he did second today. That's a great move and that's a great place, and he lost against a really good player, so nothing to regret, to be honest, except that Eurosky performance.
After the match was over, there was an announcement about the next season. What does the public need to know about the next season?
So yeah, obviously we didn't wanted to leave and say nothing, so we announced the Grand League Season 1, which will start on January 5th. The main thing about that competition is that there won't be any qualifications. As you've seen, we said selected players, so there won't be any qualifications or way to qualify. We'll announce much more things in the next month. There will be a lot of changes. We will try to focus on more the international plan rather than only French, like we did on beta. And all the moves we'll do for the next season will be towards that. We want to create an esport towards like open to the wide audience, and an esport accessible to everyone through Trackmania. And I think Trackmania Grand League is the way to do that. So you will learn a little bit more about Trackmania Grand League in the next weeks. But we also announced the Open Grand League, which will be kind of Division 2, but playable by everyone. So everyone will be able to compete on the Grand League maps against other 15 other players. So we wanted not only to focus on the 16 top players of the game, but also to develop a league alongside that, especially since there is no qualifications, to allow the players to progress and maybe get a chance at one point to join the Grand League and play against the best players in the world.
You're saying the best players in the world, but how do you actually pick the 16 players? Is it the biggest names, the biggest organization behind the names, the most talented players that you see in your eyes? How would you pick those 16 players?
We decided on Season 1 to give the control of the players to the organizations. So you'll have 16 organizations playing the Grand League and participating to the Grand League. And those organizations will have a full control on picking their players. They have one player to pick. We do have a control from our side, obviously, to not have players that are not good enough, because we don't want to have the beta season V2, where respect to all the players, but we had a clear top 10 of players playing the league, and the format wasn't suiting that because of that. So we'll have the 16 best players not qualified that will be picked, but we'll guarantee that all the players that have the level, or all the players that are participating in the Grand League, will have the level to compete and be like deserve the spot.
You're saying 16 players and 16 organizations. If I do some quick math in my head, you have 2 players yourself in Gamers Origin. You have Solary has 2 players. How would those organizations deal with that? And is that eventually good that maybe Solary has to kick 1 player, you have to kick 1 player? It's
something we thought about for a long time. because obviously it creates some problems with Solari and Gamers Origin. But we do not we don't take that decision for no reason. There's a whole idea and strategy behind that, and we believe that that's the right way to go if we want to fulfill our strategy. It's not settled yet about Solari and Gamers Origin. We'll see how things go. But they'll at some point they'll have to cut one player and let that player go to another organization.
So we might miss some players in some organizations, but do you have any organizations that you already can announce that will be part of the Trackmania Grand League next season? Because at the moment there isn't 16 organizations in Trackmania that is worth mentioning.
Everything is done, is hidden basically. There will be an announcement before the competition. I can't say when, but you'll know the 16 organizations in the next month, I would say. But until then, you won't have a lot of information when it comes to the Grand League. We'll come back mainly on December to announce you everything, the format, the maps, the organizations, the players, and see and let you discover our strategy for Trackmania and the esport. But we believe in the Grand League, and we strongly believe that we are going the right way, and Trackmania has a bright future.
Thank you so much for doing this. I guess there will be some of the podcast after the 16 organizations is around. Some people will probably have a lot of questions about why it's closed and such, right?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? That's it. The Trackmania Grand League beta season is over, and we are now heading into the season 1 that will kick off 5th of January. Until then, see you. Bye-bye.